Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now February 26th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2, and of course the Gina Carano fired situation, a lot of fans have been very much angry and upset about how Lucasfilm handled the entire situation with Gina Carano and how Kathleen Kennedy still refuses to even show face and speak words about the entire scenario. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that as of right now, a lot of fans are very much in tune with what George, Jon, and Dave are doing with their 12 Star Wars TV shows that are currently in the works. You know, they got a lot in development as we speak. You know, and we go ahead and check what's been going on with Disney and Lucasfilm. Jon and Dave are really pouring their heart and soul into developing this new Star Wars universe properly. So everything that's been happening with Gina Carano, alright, this really is a big deal because look at how many people have canceled their Disney Plus subscriptions left and right. It's all you see. We still don't have a rough idea of how many people canceled their subscriptions. We don't really know the exact number. March 9th, however, alright, mark your calendar. It's going to be a big day, the shareholder meeting. The top shareholders, we're going to learn a little bit more about their feelings on Disney and how they feel about the Gina Carano situation. Now, we also know that a large chunk of shareholders of Disney have a lot of problems with the way that Lucasfilm was able to handle the entire firing and how Disney did not intervene. So with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing all has to do with everything related to Star Wars right now. You know, there are some minor setbacks for some of the shows out there like Mando and Ahsoka Tano. However, alright, given that The Mandalorian Season 3 is now in development, Disney and Lucasfilm are busy with their new projects in order to complete their new universe. It's described, however, that since the Gina Carano firing situation, many fans have been up in arms over Lucasfilm as a company. However, in a recent interview, actress Daisy Ridley was able to respond to the Star Wars fandom, where she was able to eventually state that she believes that the fans will have a right to their own views on Star Wars and the philosophy of created by George Lucas and how that should actually be intact. And that she does realize that there was a major backlash that started with The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson. Daisy Ridley goes on to state that she is not going to lie that there was an actual backlash, that she actually realizes that there was a backlash. She's not going to lie that there was no backlash, reassuring fans that there actually was and understands the frustration. Daisy actually continues to state that others a part of the films may view those fans as a loud minority. However, Daisy makes it clear that she believes those fans are just passionate fans, voicing their opinions and what they feel is right for the franchise. When Daisy was questioned about returning as Rey, Daisy teased never say never and that fans can always be in a surprise for the future. Daisy also unveils a bit more about Kathleen Kennedy, unveiling that she was the one who kept on calling the shots to change the ending of Episode 9 several times. Now, additionally, completely separate from all of this, it's noted that Gina Carano's firing situation and the impact behind the scenes is causing Kathleen Kennedy to go into panic mode, since no employees or higher-ups over at Lucasfilm want to cover for Kennedy of making an official statement and showing face, and that Kennedy is afraid to show her face, conversing with fans about how she fired Carano and how irresponsible it really was the way that she did it, and how it was overall mishandled. Kennedy is surprisingly putting pressure on another Lucasfilm spokesperson to go on camera and discuss the Gina Carano firing. However, Bob Chapek is actually forcing Kennedy to do so herself. Apart from this, Gina Carano is already planning another interview to actually talk more about Lucasfilm and Disney and her experience on the set of The Mandalorian and her feelings about the entire firing of, you know, her being Cara Dune. Now, we're not quite sure exactly who she's going to give the interview, to. We're not quite sure about that. We're not quite sure if it's going to be a major news channel or something on the internet like YouTube or Twitter. We're not quite sure. But one thing is for certain that I think a lot of fans need to know that is very, very important right now. When Daisy Ridley says never say never about her return as Rey, This most likely has to do with something more so in line with animated material. You know, we talked about this before in the past, that she is not returning for the Rise of Skywalker sequel series. We've talked about this. I don't know if you guys have been in the loop. Actually, we have, you know, a lot of different changes coming into play for that show. Daisy Ridley's not coming back. Oscar Isaac is not coming back. Nor is, of course, John Boyega. He refuses to come back the most out of all three of them. The thing about all of this, though, when we look at Gina Carano, alright, the fact that Kennedy is trying to put pressure on another Lucasfilm spokesperson to really take pretty much, you know, the role of Kathleen Kennedy, showing face, speaking words about how the situation should have been handled. Now, if you guys are missing something and are confused right now, Kathleen Kennedy was the one responsible for firing Carano through social media, basically not even giving her an email, let alone a phone call, or even a call into the office to see her face to face. None of that happened. Let that sink in. This is Lucasfilm, alright? Lucasfilm. The company of Star Wars actually fired one of their employees, an actress, through social media, through hashtags, through trends on Twitter. And to me, it just comes off as very childlike. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could do something like that. Even if the person is in the wrong, you definitely have to call them in face to face. It's just the proper thing to do. It really is high school-ish, you know, where you get those texts, you know, getting a breakup, you know, it's like that. You don't really see that happening all that much in, you know, your later years. You just don't see this happening. This is high school material, the best way that I can really describe it. So, they're all adults and they're acting like children. I don't understand why they have to be this way, but they are. So, everything else related to Daisy Ridley, it is a very interesting thing of how she herself acknowledges the backlash, but Kathleen Kennedy cannot acknowledge the backlash. She cannot acknowledge it. And there's a reason why she cannot acknowledge it, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to admit about her failures. And we know that. Now, this is Kathleen Kennedy, after all, somebody who's very ego-driven, very much power-driven as well, and really just wants to keep pushing for her own goals in mind for herself, not for the fans. Marvel, I think, has done a fantastic job with WandaVision. WandaVision is about to wrap up. You know, we got Spider-Man No Way Home coming out later this year. I mean, Marvel is killing it. And that's exactly what Bob Chapek wants to do with Star Wars. He wants Star Wars to really just keep thriving, like how Marvel is. Now, say what you will about Marvel, I know, I understand that they are going in some routes that are not all that attractive. I understand that. But there are a lot of great movies coming out. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse next year, 2022, I believe. Spider-Man this year. WandaVision is wrapping up. We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, Marvel is doing it very good. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.